Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Dark. This is the 6th episode of the 3rd season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, this is available for free in a link in the description below. Just click it, put the password in and enjoy. So obviously we had the revelation that Marta and Jonas are potentially having a baby, and that is the unknown men that we've been seeing. But we didn't see anything after that reveal in last episode. What we actually did see, interestingly, is the death of Peter in the future, when him and Elizabeth obviously was in the caravan. They was looking to see obviously if the family members are alive. They've not really found it, but Elizabeth had enough basically of, you know, searching for it. She thinks that they're dead. You know, she doesn't want to go there, put herself through all of that all of the time. She went back to the caravan. There was a creepy dude inside. He was rummaging for food. He tied her up. He beat her. He tried to rape her. His dad come in. They had a fight. He ended up killing Peter just before she managed to hit him with the extinguisher and kill him. So that was his death. But like I said, mate, in this show, you could see Peter in today's episode in a different timeline, and it makes total sense. So he's not really truly gone, is he? But it was interesting to see that and how he actually died there. You know, then we seen in the, you know, in the future, and well, in a different timeline, Jonas, and he was going to play out basically how Marta actually wanted him, the older one, to do, go to the power plant. Well, he thought that's what they wanted to do. It's like, I don't know if it's like a bait and switch, to be honest, because he was told that he was supposed to go there, lift the barrels up, do you know what I mean, and do everything the way he was supposed to do. But then as he was going through the fence, Marta ended up cutting his face. He had a bit of deja vu. He remembered that she had her face cut. He was like, look, mate, I'm everyone's puppet here. They're telling me to do this, do that, and I've been doing it. It's all been going wrong. You know what? I'm going to stop it. I want to go back. I want to get answers. So he's gone back, he's speaking to the older one. She's turned around and said, look, mate, you've done everything. Your time, you know, your purpose has been served. Everything that we wanted you to do, you've actually done. And the younger Marta's like, what are you talking about? We've not done anything. And she's like, mate, time will tell. You know what I'm saying? As you grow older, you will understand what it's actually done. And all these different versions of Marta started coming out, you know what I mean? And then boom, shot. Killed Jonas. From Marta, the way Jonas or Adam killed her at the end of season 2. So but the different approaches switched with each character's being killed. And talking about being killed as well, we did have another death last episode, and it was Katerina. She went to obviously steal the key card from her future mum. Oh well, yeah, from her mum. And she ended up getting out-muscled, if you would call it that. And she spun around, hit her in the head with a rock. She killed her. She thought that she was a devil. She ended up putting rocks in her, dragging her, throwing her into the lake. And we've seen that she pulled the pendant of St. Christopher, I think they call it. And it was in the sand. And obviously that's the location where Jonas has found it in a different timeline and give it to his Marta. So it's like mad, really, how that pendant's been going all the way around. But Ulrich's still in the home. He didn't get saved. Katerina's dead. Don't know how that's going to affect her in the future or whatnot, you know, in the timelines. But we do know, well, if we look at it anyway, it seems like because of the location of the pendant and the way Jonas has found it, like this may have already happened, and that's how the loop should have technically gone. But I'm not too sure, honestly. It's a bit confusing, but it's also really good, and I can't wait to find out more. Right, checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode. I feel like this is the ending of season 2. It is. That's interesting, that. It actually is, because, you know, Marta didn't come in and grab him then before that occurred.
Du darfst niemals die Hoffnung verlieren, dass es einen Weg aus diesem Labyrinth gibt. Einen Weg, mich zu retten. Und dich. Doch dafür müssen wir Opfer bringen und unvorstellbare Dinge tun. Jedes Schicksal in diesem Knoten ist geknüpft an das nächste.
He's going in the cave now.
Warum macht Adam das? Die Apokalypse. Sie muss passieren. Du musst mich sterben lassen. Wir passen perfekt zusammen. Glaube niemals etwas anderes.
I wonder why he's burning that. Day of the Apocalypse.
Ist alles okay? Was ist denn passiert?
Das, was Mike gesagt hat, das ist ein Weltuntergang. Das ist kein Kraftwerk. Heute, Bartosz Vater versucht, einen Störfall zu vertuschen. Die Fässer, ich weiß, das klingt total verrückt, aber Die Welt geht heute unter.
Keine Ahnung, was mit dir gerade los ist. Aber dass du Mama so hängen lässt, ist nicht fair.
Er musste sterben. Ihr seid falsch. In seiner Welt.
Warum hast du dich eingesperrt? Genauso belogen, wie mein älteres Ich mich belogen hat.
Hat fest daran geglaubt, ein Paradies zu erschaffen, in dem wir frei sind von unserem Schicksal. Eine Welt außerhalb von deiner und meiner Welt. Habe endlich begriffen, was das Paradies wirklich ist. Unendliche Dunkelheit.
See, it sounds kind of selfish, you know what I mean? Like, if he realizes that paradise is complete darkness, then you go and do it. Go kill yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, you go into that complete darkness. Let everybody else live. They don't have to suffer the consequences of your selfish actions because you want something yourself. Do you know what I mean? But then, I wouldn't say you can flip it, but you can also see it as if he knows that he's factually, if he killed himself today, in 33 years or in whenever the apocalypse happens, he revolves around and repeats his cycle again and again, then he's never having this never-ending darkness, and you can understand why it is he's technically going for it. Do you know what I mean? So, like, you can flip it. To be honest, listening to him speak, he sounds bad now. I've never really said that I'm on his side physically. Like, I always thought that he sounded bad, but I always thought that Marta sounded bad, and if I had to pick one side, I said I'd pick the dark one. Only because, obviously, the dark side is the one that we kind of know more of the characters on. And the show's called Dark anyway, you know what I mean? So, like, logically, I'm going to pick the dark side. Now, obviously, the light is here, and it sounds good, and it sounds great, but she just seems as bad as anyway. So, like, I'd rather pick the bad that I know than the bad that's kind of unknown right now, you know what I mean? So, like, I've never really fully been on his side. Just saying, if I had to pick one, I'd pick Adam. But he doesn't sound great either. He just sounds like he's a bad guy. 6 hours until the apocalypse.
Musst du was sagen? Jemand erpresst mich. Mit etwas. Mein Name ist nicht Alexander. Ich heiße Boris. Ein Unfall. Das musst du mir glauben. Ich bin kein Mörder. Das ist das Beste, was mir in meinem Leben passiert ist. Sie hat mich aus all dem gerettet.
So he did actually kill somebody. That's interesting. He's called Boris.
Ich muss mit Ulrich sprechen. Ist er hier? Hör mal gut zu. Ulrich gehört mir. Da wird sich auch nichts ändern.
Was machst du hier?
Ich wollte dir nur kurz was zeigen. Bist du fertig im Bad?
Ja, klar.
Das ist der Pfennig, den ich im Bunker gefunden habe.
It's identical.
Den Helge bei sich hatte. Die ist exakt identisch. Als wäre der Pfennig irgendwie durch die Zeit gereist. Hast du mich erschreckt?
Who is it? Oh, is that her?
Hast du dir die Haare geschnitten? Glaubst du an Schicksal? Ich glaube, dass wir unser Leben selbst in die Hand nehmen.
You know, I like both of their hair like that, me. I think Katarina's looks good, and I think Shiz does. I think fringes, or bangs, whatever you want to call them, they look decent. Follow the signal. I did, I'm sure Jonas done that on his map as well to himself, follow the signal. Maybe this is where she come and done a research and done a recordings and done the logs and stuff. Who's this now? Jonas in this timeline. Yeah.
Jonas.
She thought he was dead, innit?
Im Knotenpunkt der Zeitschleife. Moment, der die Dinge in die eine oder in die andere Richtung laufen lässt. Linie, die in einer Schleife wieder auf sich selber trifft. 2 mögliche Wege. Auf der Außenkante der Linie oder auf der Innenkante der Linie. Beides wiederholt sich in der Schleife wieder und wieder. Adam hat die letzten 33 Jahre versucht, diese Verschränkung zu lösen. Damit das, was in dir wächst, niemals entsteht.
Mate, it's so, like, so advanced.
Es ist übrig geblieben. Nach der Katastrophe.
She does have it, actually. She's the one that started the connections on the walls, isn't it?
Vielleicht musste erst alles so passieren. Damit es sich ändert beim nächsten Mal. Wir haben die Komponenten der Gleichung verändert. Vielleicht gelingt es beim nächsten Mal.
Ich habe keine Zeit, 33 Jahre zu warten. Damit ich diesmal auf der anderen Seite der Bunkertür stehe? Warum hat sie nichts gesagt? Sie wusste, dass Martha stirbt.
Die
Die Materie im AKW. Ich weiß, was sie ist. Kann dir helfen, Martha zu retten.
Mate, everybody's like, I can save this, I can save that, we can save her, we can save them all, do you know what I mean? It's interesting that she was basically saying the infinite time loop that was going around like that, basically, you know, they're intertwined, the cycle continues, you can't break it, but basically there's a line that runs right through it, and you can have the left and the right, or, do you know what I mean? She said one or the other. In one side, you come in, you took Jonas, you brought him here, you've killed him. On the other side, he's alive, he didn't turn up, he ran, he hid. He's in there. That's why he's in that world. It makes sense. It does. I mean, it's confusing. It's advanced. I've got to say, the people who create and write this show, fair play to him. You know, they must have to do a lot of is it like a reconciliation where like they have to go back and make sure that what they're writing now ties up into what they had before, and if there is any plot holes and any lines and any things that don't make sense, and how they could see how some things that they mentioned in 1 and 2 actually come to fruition here in season 3. Do you know what I mean? Because it's easy to say this and this, but then if we actually went back to the first seasons and like it just totally didn't make sense, then do you know what I mean? It's just got no weight to it. It don't make sense. But if you continue it on from the first season and second season and bring stuff into the third and keep it continuous, whilst also obviously like writing new storylines, then it's hard, but it's also good. And I feel like we've intertwined and dived over so many timelines, trying to keep it consistent and making sense. I feel like it'd be a solid job writing the season, you know what I mean? Like creating the stories and the plots of the episodes. So gotta say fair play to him, because it's really hard. 3 hours until the apocalypse.
Gab's einen Störfall im AKW. Dabei ist eine eigenartige Substanz entstanden. Und dein Vater hat geholfen, das alles zu vertuschen. Lass es aus. Heute.
Ist was aus?
Die Apokalypse.
Die sind aber am Kinn.
Ulrich?
I don't get it. And like, he had a name tag on saying Mads Nielsen when he landed.
Der Junge im Bunker sieht genauso aus wie Mats. Wie ist das möglich?
Sie hat gesagt, ich muss es tun.
Was tun?
Ihn in die Zukunft schicken.
Ich muss ihn stoppen. Wen stoppen? Dich.
Him? Well, that one's interesting. Never expected that name.
Und du hast ihn umgebracht. Also nicht du, sondern irgendein anderes du.
Alles hat irgendwas mit deinem Vater zu tun. Er darf die Fässer nicht öffnen.
Charlotte, Alexander hier. Kannst du ins AKW kommen?
It was them last time, innit, that had come and seen it and opened it. Well, he was forced to smash it up, wasn't he, by the other guy, the officer. He's only sent 2 of them back. Is he going to travel himself using that? Maybe that's what they do, so then obviously they can get back. Still don't even know who that girl's name is, to be honest.
Warum tust du, was er sagt?
Wir Auserwählten müssen die Lücken schließen. Damit du deinen Weg hierher findest und Adam sein.
This is his best appearance, me, like, the way he looks. Look at him getting about on his pedal bike. 2 suits left, and these ones are red. You know, usually they've been yellow.
Charlotte, ich bin's. Dazu. Das mit den Finnigen. Ich weiß, das klingt verrückt, aber das Gleiche ist mit der Leiche im Bunker passiert. Lass einen DNA-Test machen.
Ihr seid aus der Zukunft.
Aber nicht aus deiner.
Was soll das hier?
Sie haben dich belogen. Deine Eltern nicht. Sie sind diejenigen, die dafür verantwortlich sind, dass sie passieren. Aber es gibt einen Weg, das alles zu ändern.
Aber du musst dich für unsere Welt entscheiden. Und ihm vertrauen. Jonas.
Lass mitkommen.
Wohin mitkommen?
Er gehört nicht zu uns.
He's not one of us. Oh, she's joining them. It's interesting. To be honest, everybody's lying to everybody. I have no idea what side I would have chosen. You know, he has no idea what's going on, mate.
Adam hat jeden seiner Spielsteine auf Position gebracht. Es wird ihm niemals gelingen.
Gon's alive. Look at this.
Vergangenheit erschaffen den Stammbaum zu erhalten. Auf jede Dunkelheit folgt Licht. Auf jeden Tod folgt ein Leben.
Into her speech there, she sounded like she was trying to save it. I say that all the time though with each one of them. Sometimes they sound good, sometimes they sound bad.
Magnus und Franziska, Charlotte und Elisabeth, Celia und Agnes. Sie halten den Zyklus aufrecht. Das, was in dir wächst, der Ursprung. Aber er kann nicht auf normalem Wege getötet werden. Maschine, die nicht nur Zeit, sondern auch Raum durchquert. Welche die Energie beider Apokalypsen auf diesen einen Punkt konzentriert. Beide Welten löschen sich gegenseitig aus. Vollkommene Annihilation. Falsch. Du und ich. In deiner Welt und in meiner.
You can't let anything stand in your way, do you know, when you've been determined to do it for so long, yeah?
Die Verbindung in der einen Welt muss auch in der anderen Welt geschlossen werden. Es ist miteinander verbunden.
Oh, no way. Back at the start of the episode. Have everybody got to be together? Have they all got to be near each other? See what I mean? That's some of the dark matter there that was left. It's still in this world, so he can create his. Is that the first time we've seen that? Let there be light? Maybe it dies. That's mad, mate. That's actually his kid. Mate, you'd 100% be dead, wouldn't you? If you sat there, yeah, and you was then watching it, you'd be 100% dead. It's kind of like when that tsunami come. Do you remember that? The tsunami, that was fucking crazy, mate, when that happened. Like, people just stood there looking at this wave, and it was getting bigger and bigger, and it's like, what is going on? And you got these people running and everything. It's like, mate, you got no chance. Literally, you ain't got a chance. If you are out in the open, you are done for. There's too much weight, pressure being pushed against you. Like, they could have ran nowhere to go for them to. You just got to sit there and just look at it. Now, wounded for them, you know what I mean? Martin was right. The apocalypse was happening. They ignored it. You know, me and you sit together if it ends, whatever they was doing, the sign language. And obviously they did. They ended it. Now, I'm interested to see the next episode, if I'm being honest, because the apocalypse has occurred. It's happening right now, right here. And it looks like, you know, when we've had it before, last season, and the last episode, the apocalypse occurred in Jonas's timeline. Now, I had this Marta come and grab him and pull him into the future, into a different world, whatever you want to call it, and it hadn't occurred there yet. But then you've been following this season, and again, we've been told that the loop's about to happen, and it will happen again, the apocalypse, which, I mean, it's happened a few times. Kind of reminds me of the Umbrella Academy, to be honest, always trying to stop the apocalypse. But it's happening across all the timelines simultaneously, which is interesting, because obviously if it's happening with them, it's happening with, you know, the Elder Martin, it's happening with Jonas as well, / Adam. And I don't know how we're going to finish the last 2 episodes. Now, I don't know if we need to remember what's going on in 88, though, because there's a Jonas there, and a Marta's come, and she's dropped him a note that he burnt, and he's also got the dark matter, and he'd be able to create his own, you know, particle. So, maybe he's the third. We have got, like, this leaf, or whatever you want to call it. It's got 3 bits, and then the middle, it connects all of them. And maybe that's this section here that's connecting all 3, and then you've got the points in the time. You've got, obviously, Martyrs, the Jonas as, like, the one with the beard, and the Elder as Adam. And, obviously, they're all occurring, the apocalypse all at once. I don't know. It is interesting, though. I have no idea what the next 2 episodes are for us, to be honest, because we dove in with this crazy bit here in this one and finishing it off. So I'm really excited for episode 7. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So we got 6 in the bag. We got 7 and 8 left, and the apocalypse has just occurred, and I'm excited to see the aftermath of it and how we tie everything together. You know, I like the explanation of Jonas, basically, where he was saying, like, look, mate, you know, we can do the worlds, we can end the cycles, but everything still goes on and on and on, because we've got one creature that's combined from both worlds, so to speak, and that's their son. Basically, you know, I've got Jonas on one timeline, and a martyr from another, and they've had sex and they've created this being which is a connection between both worlds, and no matter what keeps happening and the apocalypse keeps occurring, the cycle still keeps going. And that's the reason why he took her. He's got her there, and basically he's got to end her in this location before the child is born, which can end everything and take it all into complete darkness. And I was saying there, well, if he thinks that peacefulness or whatever is darkness, then he should just end it for himself. But I understand what he's saying with the entire loop. The fact that he could end it for himself now and get a bit of peace, but then the cycle's just going to keep recurring over and over again, and he's going to be going through it all because of obviously their son. Now, they've gone and, you know, gone into their own timelines as well, 2 separate ones, and they've gone into the facility and they've lifted it up and they've done it and they've turned the dials and all of that. And it's interesting to see it with them, 2 of them in one and 1 in the other. You know, I've been saying that being on the dark side, the show's called Dark, the dark side sounds better, and these kind of like original kind of cast members / people that we kind of followed and known a bit more background about have been on the dark side. That's the way that we've been choosing, but I have consistently been saying that obviously both of them don't sound like they're the right side to pick. They both sound like they lie all the time. I have no idea who to trust, and you know, at the end of the day, it seems like they both want bad things. But then if you look at today's episode at a standalone, let's forget all the information that we know in the past. Let's forget the actions that we've seen occur. Let's just focus on today's episode. You know, you've got Adam here who's saying that he wants to destroy both worlds and take it into complete darkness and end all human civilization once and for all. And then you've got Eve, who's actually got a future Bartos, like an egg on, you know, she's got a Tidum in Claudia. We've also got 2 of herself, I believe, and a Noah and a young Noah. And basically, she was giving them all tasks to save the civilization. It's your task to do this, make sure people love, go there, make sure that cycle happens, do this, make sure that get that, X, Y. And it sounded like, so if you take this episode as a standalone and not all information that we've known in the past and seen, you know, Adam looks like 100% completely the bad guy, and she looks like the better person, you know, the one to get behind. So I think that's really interesting. Like I said, I don't trust both of them. I'm not really too sure how it's going to conclude, and I don't really know, you know, what we're actually doing with them, considering that today was the apocalypse, and listening to what Adam was saying, that should be the end of all mankind as we know it from both timelines. I'm excited to see what we do for the last 2 episodes. Really, really good. Thanks for checking out today's. If you did enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you do, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.